Garage Tour episode 1.
Yeah.
And I don't know where to start. If y'all don't know who this is Jake.
What's going
He's
on?
the mastermind behind all of the wiring harnesses and obviously a lot of other shit that happens in the Saab world. A lot. I mean, a lot. So I'll let him introduce himself to you.
Yep. So I'm Jake Tudisco. I'm a enthusiastic Saab owner. So
A little bit more than enthusiastic.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we got a lot of random stuff going on in here. You can see a couple cars. This one, some people may recognize from another YouTube channel. This is the Prolific Builds Smoke. It's here getting a wiring harness done.
Shit's gonna be fast.
Yep. And this is my Turbo X that
This is all right. So wait, hold on.
Car was actually found by Malik.
I remember that. I thought it was a scam.
Yeah,
Bro, I thought it was, yeah. Bro, it was like probably 7 months.
Yeah.
At least going back and forth with the dude.
Yeah,
I still talk to that dude to this day.
Yeah.
He comments on all my shit.
Right.
I was like, bro, Jake, don't buy that car. It's a scam. It's a scam. It's a scam. He's like, it's not a scam. And then I think they shipped it.
Yeah, I set up a shipping company and they went down and picked it up and they brought it to Pittsfield and it showed up and it was all in one piece.
Yep.
So it had been
it has an 06 front, bro.
So. Yeah, so this
it's a Turbo X, I promise.
Yeah, this is a Turbo X, like I said, and when it showed up, the bumper and one of the fenders, they weren't painted, and that car had recently the motor had blown, so it was in the garage. So I was like, hey, why not? Pulled the front end off that and put it on the Turbo X and unfacelifted it. So
I call this car the SSX.
Yeah.
This is a sports sedan X, but it's a Turbo X.
It doesn't have any Turbo X parts on it.
I thought it at least had the wheels, so I could prove it.
No, the wheels paid for the shipping. So yeah, back here, yeah, it's got the trunk. You can run the VIN, and it'll come up as a Turbo X.
The beautiful part about this car, though, is he has this wired, and this was the pilot car for a lot of the Turbo X stuff we got. Well, the Max ECU stuff that they got going on. Fuck Max, but this is the pilot car for a lot of the Max ECU
yeah,
stuff.
So my 06 over there, I ran it as a piggyback setup. So it still had the stock ECU running, the throttle body, and a few other things like the VVT. But this car, after that one broke, I switched the Max over to this, and I was testing out some plug and play stuff. But mainly, I'm using this right now to get the Haldex stuff figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just
Haldex is the all-wheel drive computer for the Saabs.
Yep. So getting all those tables figured out in the Max and getting the Haldex to act how we want. But yeah, this car currently does not have an ME9 in it anymore.
As you can see, there's no ECU there.
Yep.
The plugs are there, but there's no ECU.
Yep, this is one of the plugs. So I have some wires pulled out of it. And then this is the other part of the harness that's running under the cowl and into the glove box to the Max.
And the Max is sitting in the glove box controlling the car. This car runs just as normal as stock.
Yep.
Actually, not normal. It's better than stock.
Yeah, so the car is completely stock. Besides the Max, it has injectors, the 9.5 coils, and a flex fuel sensor, and that's it. Yeah. But you can still do the rolling launch control, two-step, all that stuff. And like you said, it runs like a stock car.
Yep. A little bit different than mine's, but I don't know if you guys know, but Jake actually wired up my fuel tech.
Yep.
We did that car in like a day and a half.
Yeah.
No
sleep.
It
was less than 3 days.
We was fucking hammering on that car.
So
it was trouble after, but that was because fuel tech sucks just as much as
fuel
Max.
Tech's.
I'll edit it out if you say something bad.
It has its own quirks. We'll just say that.
Yeah. I think personally, fuel tech is just meant for people who are racing. I don't think it's meant for anything else.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to keep something super simple, I could see you going with a fuel tech.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to keep a street car, I would go with a Max. It works a lot better with these cars how they're set up. So yeah, so this is my car I had up in New England. It's a 2006
It's the car I met him with.
Yep. So yeah, I remember the night He messaged me on Facebook. He's like, "Hey, I want to come check it out." So he
Yep.
came over and we were talking about the cars and all that stuff.
It's sad. It's really sad because at that point, my car was a really nice Turbo X,
Yeah.
and this was a really nice sports sedan.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck did we do?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was funny because this this car was running with the big turbo kit, and it wasn't out to its full potential.
Yeah, it was this one.
Yep. So that kit I actually bought off a friend of mine named Bo Mancini. He was running that on his Turbo X. He sold it to me, and I was running it on my 06, and then now it's going to end up on another Turbo X. But it's a Garrett GTX 3584 RS, and everyone when they see it, they're like, "That's not a 67
Ooh,
millimeter."
that spins nice.
Oh yeah.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, that's Garrett quality for you.
It don't spin like a Precision though. Joking.
Yeah, they're catching up.
My turbo don't spin. It's super.
Yeah, so that turbo setup's gonna end up on the Turbo X, but I was originally running it on here.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was running on there, I was kind of getting the quirks worked out. So one of the modifications I'm gonna make is it had a single 40 millimeter wastegate, and for Bo setup that was working out fine.
What the fuck is going on here, bro?
So as you can see, I messaged Turbo Smart and was like, "Hey, I want to see how big of a gate I can get on this turbo setup." And I was like, "Can you send me some files for me to print?"
Oh my god!
And they just like right away, "Yep, we can help you out."
Turbo Smart's the goats.
So they sent me those files. I messed with them a little bit to make them printable. And this is a 45 mil, and that's a 50 mil.
And what size was that one?
That's a 40. So like,
and you was having what, boost fluctuations? You couldn't control it.
It was creeping pretty bad. So I know Bo was running at a little bit lower boost settings. And once I started getting up past the 20s, we were having creeping issues.
I don't have creep issues with and I have a 44, but I guess.
Yeah, I mean it depends on the setup. Like this is all pretty. If you take a shot underneath the turbo, it's all pretty like tight in there.
Oh yeah, I'm making it. Yeah, it is.
It's not.
This is a nice manifold, though.
It is. So that manifold, you could run it with a stock battery box in the car.
But yeah, it's a lot tighter. The turbo's a lot tighter to the motor and whatnot too. My turbo will sit like a little bit further out.
Right. So yeah, it's a really well-made turbo manifold. I'm just gonna redo the section up in here just to get it to flow a little better because I won't need the battery box in my Turbo X. So I'm gonna rework it, see if I can fit a 45 or a 50 millimeter in there, and that should help with the boost creep issues.
And then I know you guys are looking at this, like me and him go over so much of this stuff so much that it's like normal to us. But the intake manifold, I know you guys are looking at it like, what is that?
Yeah.
You know, the exhaust manifolds is totally different. This is from Acadia, is it? Or Suzuki?
So yeah, that's another one of Bo's ideas.
Yeah.
That is from a Suzuki Grand Vitara.
It's a nice looking manifold too.
Yeah. So it's when it's mounted on the Suzuki, it's flipped around 180, but you can flip it around the other direction
and
on this
still
motor.
bolts up the same.
Yep. So I'm gonna have to in this area will get reworked for a new throttle body flange. But other than that, I trimmed it up a little bit and it bolted right on. So,
nice.
And then I had it on my Turbo X, and you can shut the hood with that in the car.
Yeah, this looks like it'll flow. You got 2 ports, 2 passages for the ears to go, so it'll split between the front and the rear bank a lot better. This intake manifold situation is a big problem with
so
these cars.
This is a stock SRX intake manifold.
This is the 9.5 one. This is 3-inch.
So if you ignore this part, this is the same.
Right.
It's a lot less volume.
Right.
But the SRX and the 9.5, they run basically a 3-inch throttle body.
Right. This is what I'm running on my car as well.
Yep.
And as much of an improvement as it is from the 2.8, I don't think it's much better regardless.
Yeah, I mean the throttle body definitely helps being bigger.
Absolutely. 100%.
But yeah, you have a lot less volume over all the runners. So
a guy messaged me the other day and he said that I've never known this, but he said that these intake manifolds were known for leaning out cylinder banks 1 and 2.
Yeah, because it's very. If you think about like cutting the top off of this, you have your 3 in the back, 3 in the front, and you have all your air coming in the back. So it's hard. It's hard to get it to evenly distribute.
That makes absolute sense.
So, yeah, you just mentioned Acadia manifold. It just so happens.
What? This dude, bro? Jake might have it laying around.
So this is an Acadia manifold. And,
Oh, this is the one I was looking at 1.2.
Yeah.
That's way bigger. Holy
yeah,
shit.
so it's got those 2 long runners on top for the bigger throttle body.
But it seems to me like every other motor or platform had the intake manifold thing a little bit better, because even the Cadillac that I got it off of, they both had individual runners for both the front and the rear bank.
Yep.
We're the only ones that have this one single.
Yeah, and that's all like size constraints, because you only have so much clearance below the hood to fit something.
They should have just put a hood scoop on it, bro.
I mean, you could if you wanted to. If you want to cut a big hole in your hood, you could run this.
Sure. We got something coming for that. So this car right here, I'm gonna call it right now. This car right here is gonna be a bad motherfucker.
That is the plan currently.
This car right here is gonna go 8 1/4.
So
y'all heard me say it here first, right? January 2025.
Yeah.
This car is gonna go fucking 8 1/4.
For if we do a video where it does, we'll link it back to this one.
Yeah, we're gonna show you.
Yeah.
I'm calling it right now. But I don't got enough balls to go 8s. He might, and I think he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
This is an 06. This is getting fully fucking gutted, just like the Turbo X is. He's all-wheel drive swapping it.
Yep.
He's putting a fucking 90mm turbo out.
I mean, we'll see what it takes. But,
and this is gonna have what motor setup?
So I'm gonna be doing similar to what you're doing. I was thinking about doing a 3.2 at first.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, like, why not do a 3.6? So
lucky for you.
Yeah.
I bring him something that I'll show you later in this video.
Yeah, I was thinking in my head, like, man, who would have a 3.6? And it just so happens.
The 3.6 guy.
Yeah, so I'm going to run a 3.6 in here. Like he said, it's going to be an all-wheel drive swap.
Yep.
Which the rear subframe is already in the car.
Yep.
It's not welded in yet. But actually, yeah, I got it right here. So this is the key to an all-wheel drive swap, really. This is the main difference besides everything else that bolts up. But I cut this off my 2.0 car, and I'll be welding it in on this car. But the chassis are basically the same. At the factory, they basically weld these in, and then this is what the subframe will bolt to. So the back 2 mounts, they're the same, and then this one is moved up a little further to clear the axles.
Right.
So it's really all there is to it.
And as you can see, this dude's got 1, 2, 3 motors.
Yep, and then I think like a couple pairs of heads as well.
A bunch of heads. So
yeah,
Jake's got a lot going on. Anybody who's in the 2.8 world knows this guy. He's been putting on a lot for the community.
Yep.
He's like my default go-to when I have questions for my own shit. I don't even know. I don't even ask anybody else questions. Honestly, there's nobody else to ask.
Right.
But he's pushing just like me, and we're trying to go fast.
Yep. Yeah, I'm waiting on an additional stream of income to start, and then
we're gonna start selling cocaine. We just were talking about that before we started the video.
Yeah, once that starts, it's gonna be full blast getting these cars running.
Yep.
Yeah, like you said, it's gonna start out as a drag car. I may do other stuff afterwards, but I'm basically gonna try and push this as fast as I can. See what we can do in the quarter mile. But yeah, like I said, the rear subframe is already the all-wheel drive one that was pulled out of my daily driver.
Oh yeah, he did that too. Yeah.
So
I forgot to tell you, this dude has a all-wheel drive daily, and he took the subframe out of it and then put it in this car and put the front-wheel drive subframe in the daily. So he all-wheel drive swapped his daily driver.
So yeah, I still had to get to work, so I put the subframe from here into that car, and it runs just fine. So like I said, with those mounts, the front mounts for a front-wheel drive subframe were on the all-wheel drive car. So it's something that's always there.
Yeah.
They just don't put the bolts in it.
Right.
So I cut those out, lifted the subframe into place, and all the bolts were
perfect,
zipped right in.
Right.
So
did you get any like all-wheel drive codes?
Oh yeah, it is not happy. The car drives just fine, but I mean every time I turn on it says service all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna see if I can basically take that out with the Tech 2.
Yeah, you probably can.
Yeah, so I'm not too worried about it.
It drives normal.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows, I'm not gonna say that 2.0 guys are gonna be mad to get it. I'm gonna say 2.0s are shitty, but
yeah, they don't have the potential that the 2.8s have.
Fuck the potential. Those shits are garbage, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
No, yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm digging the hole deeper for myself. I don't give a fuck. Those cars are garbage, but
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, as a daily, it's fine. It's bone stock besides the all-wheel drive swap. So, but yeah, like I mentioned with that car getting the Haldex stuff figured out, the actual Haldex diff is not in this car right now. It is in the trunk of my 2.0. And it is hooked back up to the car so we can data log what that diff is doing.
oh wow,
So it is in the trunk all hooked up. And then when I'm driving to work, I'll hook my laptop up to it and it data logs
that's
it.
hilarious.
Yeah. So, and then we use that stuff to kind of build the tables for the standalone setup. So,
A lot going on, guys.
yep. Yeah, sitting right there, that's the transmission that'll be going in here. And if you are trying to do an all-wheel drive swap, this is the other key piece to it. And it's kind of it's interesting because this sitting right here is a bunch of different cars worth of stuff combined. So the bell housing, quote unquote, it is from a V6 all-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
This transfer case is from a 2.0 car
Mm-hmm.
I got off eBay. This back half of the transmission is from a Buick Regal.
This is fucking a Frankenstein build.
Bolted right up. And really the only difference is the speed sensor.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they had like rev matching. And then this transmission mount is from an automatic car. So it has more clearance for the shifter right here.
Ah.
So this still had to be trimmed, but this is just an
you can see it.
Yep. This is just an automatic mount and it all bolts up. So I'll be test fitting in this car to see if I can run the modified front wheel drive subframe. But
bro, this dude is dropping gems.
Yeah.
And I know y'all gonna go in the comments and still ask the same questions to the answers that he's answering.
Yeah, that's one of the things.
Did I say that right? I think I did. I don't know.
But we're trying to put together like a frequently asked questions thing.
Yeah.
Because you can just link it to someone, they can go and read it, and all the information we've accumulated will be in that one place.
Yeah, but people just want the answer that they want.
Yep,
they don't
you're
really
not wrong.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
and that's that.
Yep. And something else you may have noticed is, it looks like I copied Malik on my alternator on this motor.
No. I copied him. I copied him. This is the best alternator setup for this car. I don't care what anybody says either. This is the front alternator from a SRX. I think mine came from a Cadillac. Yeah, so there's a couple of different versions you can get. You got an idler too. You think I didn't see that, but I seen it.
So that I have because I'll be running AC on this car.
Oh, okay.
So it'll run around and then around the. So I had this setup running in the 06 before it broke, and it worked just fine.
What broke on it?
It's funny because
this is the motor. No, that's the motor. Did you take it apart?
That's the 07. That's the 08 motor. Yeah, this block is the 06.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was running on the max. So I was running E85, like a flex fuel.
I remember.
And I was driving back from a road trip and I didn't have E85 station. So I went and just put 93 in it. But I was tuning it at the time. And so somewhere in that timing table, I think it was running a little too much timing, or the motor was just, tired at 223,000 miles. And I cracked a ringland on a piston. 6, you said it was? Yeah, number 6. And the car still ran. It sounded like
Did you take it apart?
Yeah. And I think I have the piston at my work sitting on my desk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just edge of the piston broke. It's still, like I said, it still runs. Just had low compression on that cylinder.
Just need a little bit of Alibaba Chinese pistons and everything would have been good, man.
Yep. Well, so there's that. And then the other issue that came with that is the cylinder pressure went back through the crankcase, up the drain into the turbo, and blew out those seals.
Oof.
So every time I would get on the 2-step, you would see oil coming out of the front of the turbo.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I'm gonna send that turbo.
Right, to me, blowing a motor, that's the scariest part of blowing a motor.
Yeah,
damaging the turbo.
Yep.
Yeah, because that shit costs more than my build.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those are not cheap turbos. Like, it would have been hard to buy that thing new, knowing how much they cost. I was very lucky.
I got a deal.
Yeah, so I know you were just talking about eBay pistons, but the motor going to the Turbo X is not going to be a eBay motor. We'll just say that.
Oh God, this dude.
So
I remember these things.
Yeah,
he was holding on to these for dear life.
So yeah, this is like the box of goodies right here.
This is the twin fuel pump hat for the stock tank.
Yep. Yeah. So that's CNC billet hat. And
this, you actually bought one of those. I didn't see anybody buying.
Yeah. So this is actually the prototype one.
And that's the basket for the 2 pumps.
So yeah, this is what I was gonna run,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a 450 and a 525
Mm.
with dash 6 AN adapters.
Mm.
But I have something else planned to run on the Turbo X, which I'm not gonna explain it here, but
It might start with a fuel and end with a cell.
oh no, I'm not doing fuel cell in the car. But it's basically it's a brushless pump that Deechworks makes.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I think you showed me those.
Yeah, it's like an 800 liter per hour pump.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna run that with the max. But yeah, and here I got. This is one of the keys to these builds as well. So that's your straight cut 3 through 5.
Yep. These ain't no. Don't drop that. Don't drop that.
Yeah, these are going on the Turbo X.
They sound so good when they're running.
They do. I mean, you can probably hear them pretty well in your car.
Yeah, you can hear it over the exhaust, actually.
Yeah, but
crazy.
in a car with like an interior, it's like just the right amount of whine. Yeah, so the 3.2, you need a different crank, 3.6 liter crank.
Stop. Wait. Back up. He's talking about doing a 3.2 stroker on a 2.8. So for a 3.2, you need a.
So it's 89 millimeter bore.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the stock 2.8 bore, but you add stroke to it.
Mm-hmm.
So you need, since you're adding stroke, if you kept your same rods, your pistons would smash into your heads.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to get shorter rods. And you can run your stock pistons, but it'll bump up your compression.
Mm-hmm.
But so these rods are factory GM ATSV rods.
Oh, these are the titanium ones.
Yeah. So these feel like they're plastic.
Oh, these are really. Oh, don't drop that.
Yeah, don't drop that one either.
Don't drop that. Man, these are not H-beam.
No.
It's funny because when you showed me these years back,
mm-hmm.
I didn't know what the fuck I was looking at.
No.
And now that like I've tore the motor apart a million times, I know exactly what I'm looking at. The ATSV guys run these rods to like 700-800 horsepower stock, bro.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a nice thing about being able to watch the ATSV guys is I can kind of see what the limits are of those rods.
Yeah, the ATSV guys, as far as HSV6 cousins and brothers,
mm-hmm.
are the furthest along.
So yeah, this is a factory 2.8 rod, and you can see how it's the 3.6 is a little shorter.
Yep.
But 6 of these versus 6 of the titanium rods.
Take that on my hands, bro.
Yeah, right.
You break it, you buy it. I can't afford that.
6 of these versus 6 stock rods. These will save 2 pounds.
Jeez.
Over your reciprocating mass.
And rotating mass is worth a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
For those who don't know.
So I'm hoping this car revs like an F1 car or motorcycle pretty much.
And then he's not, me, I do China pistons. My boy right here.
So yeah, these are another key part. So I got these through a company called Engineered Performance.
Mm-hmm.
They had factory pistons that they got all the measurements off of. And then they ordered them through CP. So these are 89 millimeter 9-to-1 compression CP pistons.
Nice.
And then the company I got them from, they did coatings on them.
They don't look much different either. What did they change?
I mean, they're forged pistons.
Did they make the valve release deeper or something? How did they make them?
Yeah, I think they did add some relief.
Don't drop that.
To drop the CCs to get the compression down.
Yeah.
But I don't think these will be 9-to-1. I think it'll be a little higher, but I'll be running 85, so it shouldn't be a huge deal. Yeah. But yeah,
you run good. To all of my guys out there, if you want to run higher compression and still have a livable motor without knocking, just run good ethanol and you'll be fine. And not pump. I'm talking about like 1R, Ignite, X98, like really good E.
So if you're not a big baller like Malik.
No, I'm not a baller. Don't do that.
Even going from 93 to pump E85, you're going to cut down a ton on knock. You can run more timing and boost. Like it is.
That's where you pick up the power from.
Right. So I'd been running my 06 on 93 for a long time just because E85 wasn't available.
Mm-hmm.
When I came down here and there's a decent amount of pumps around and I switched to it, I was like, I'm never going back.
Yeah.
Like it is
it smells good.
Yeah. And you're basically putting race fuel in your car.
Mm-hmm.
So
cheaper.
Yeah, that too. But I remember like the first time I switched back from E85 to 93, it's like you have a boost leak or something.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not the same.
You got to do that every now and then from what I'm realizing too, is because I'm going to do that. Actually, I think while I'm breaking Bane in, I'm gonna run it on 93 and just switch up the tune a little bit just to clean out the ethanol in the lines because I had a little bit of an issue with those injectors, but I think I'm gonna do that.
So I think one of the issues with E85 is it likes to absorb water.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what he's talking about, is that'll get caught up in the lines. Like if you're driving the car every day, it shouldn't really be an issue.
No.
But yeah, if you're letting it sit, I would definitely clear it out.
I probably don't even have to change the tune. I probably can just run like, I got a 10-gallon fuel cell. I could probably just run like a couple gallons at 93 in it and just run it through the motor.
The fuel tank has knock sensors, right?
You're an asshole. I ain't going in boost though, so we ain't knocking, bro.
No, yeah. If you keep the timing down, and
I drove the car today, I didn't even get past 2,000 RPMs, bro.
Yeah.
Straight pussyfoot. I'm not even joking. I want this one to live for a little while.
Yeah.
If you guys knew, if you guys knew. But we're gonna close out this one. This is obviously not gonna be the last that you've seen of Jake. If you guys watch my channel from before, when I first started and I was getting a lot more views and I was a little bit more popular, he was in the videos. That's when we used to go to like the track, New Lebanon, all that shit. That was so fun. We got to do that.
Oh yeah, that was a good time.
So
I was on your channel and looking at those older videos, like when we were first setting up the wiring harness and that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny watching you run your first pass. It was like a 12 something,
right?
But you were just stoked.
Yeah, I was happy.
Yeah,
bro, it's a long time coming, bro.
Yeah,
the car starts like this, and then it ends like that, bro. Yeah. It's just the natural nature of racing, bro. I've always known it. You start building cars, it's no end to it. You just want to go faster and faster and faster and faster.
No, and I mean, yeah, that car when it broke, like I could have fixed it, but it being front wheel drive, like there's not a lot you can do with that turbo setup on it. Like you're kind of limited by traction.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, instead of like getting rid of this car or scrapping or whatever, I'll kind of give it its best life.
Yeah. And it's going to live a really good life.
Yeah.
It'll be around for a lot longer years than if it was a 2.8 sitting in somebody's garage.
Yeah, exactly. So
not getting the oil changes and the chain stretching.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that should be a good build once I get to it.
So we're going to wrap this one up by spinning Mr. Turbo here. You got to get a thumbnail. This is a nice turbo, bro.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie to you.